And all. Ma'am, I hope I'm clear, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Ma'am? Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So, very good afternoon to the audience of today's session. Uh, uh, I have I take this opportunity to thank Team IoT uh, for organizing uh, such a wonderful FDP, and I could see through uh, the academy's passion, I should say, towards developing faculty competence, so which is highly up to be appreciated. And they take enormous effort in organizing all these events very frequently, which I could see through. And thank you for providing me this opportunity today to share my views on this topic, innovative teaching methodologies. Uh, this innovation, as we all are well aware, innovation uh, in the classroom. So we, being faculty, every classroom is a place for innovation, experiments, conducting experiments, everything. Because students are our real, our live models through which we can develop any number of methodologies. So, uh, I should say, in other words, classroom is a laboratory. Uh, since people who have joined here, I could see through uh, uh, they are all from different disciplines, uh, not only science, even in an arts or a commerce classroom. I could say every classroom is a laboratory where we conduct experiments, and the instruments that we use are students in conducting experiments, and these experiments are what we call as methodologies. So innovation in methodology, like we don't mean to have any standard methodologies. Methodology differs from faculty to faculty, which should be understood clearly by all of us. Because depending on the student's background, why do I insist this term is because an urban student, classroom is a combination. Students in a classroom is a combination of uh, the students who hail from different backgrounds, social background. So in that case, we'll be having students from urban background, rural background, semi-urban, and people who are there. Mostly, we could come across people who are first graduates in the family. So with that, with these different background students, so you could ask me whether innovation is really possible, ma'am. Yeah. I would say yes. Uh, Instead of classroom being a conventional, like teacher centric, we faculty, we should be ready to convert our classroom into a learner centric classroom. So when we initiate that concept uh, in our mind, naturally innovation is possible. And you could also raise me questions where after this pandemic, we could find drastic changes in the mindset of students. So whether you feel it is possible, madam, you could ask me. Yes, of course. Uh, Classroom before pandemic and classroom after pandemic, it is really challenging. And to frankly share with you, many a times we do feel, you, me, everybody, we feel, do we really have to be in this profession? So that sort of attitude we develop certain instances because of the change in the basic behavioral pattern of the students. So in that case, how is innovation possible? Yes, of course, it is possible because now that we have come to offline classes, the regular schedule, so gradually we have to bring in the improvement, and in order to coordinate the students and put them back to what was there before pandemic, we have to we have to get along with innovative methodologies. Unless or otherwise we initiate with innovative methodologies, we cannot pull back all the students. We cannot pull back the students on the right track. Of course, it is challenging. Every classroom these days is a challenge for us. Finishing a class and coming back is a real challenge, which I accept. And this is what is going on in the mind of every faculty. Okay, let me get into my topic today. So
Excuse
this
me, ma'am.
I wish to begin with, yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you present the slides using slideshow mode, ma'am?
Slide share, yes, ma'am. Uh,
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am.
no, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I think
ma'am.
it's okay now.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. It is fine, ma'am.
Uh,
Thank you, ma'am.
uh, okay, ma'am. Uh, I want to begin with a familiar quote. So I hear and I forget, I see and I believe, I do and I understand. So this is what the thumb rule of innovation is. So as you could see certain cartoonic pictures here. So mind mapping, team building. So these are all in a way like innovation. We in a way connect with the life skills also these days. It is direly needed in the classroom. So what is before getting into it? So what does this term mean first? Definition. How do we define it? So it is nothing but proactively we introduce new strategies, new methodologies in the classroom. So this is how we can really very I mean in a very simplified manner we can define this term. And uh, there arises a question. Does it mean that we totally depend on technology? Do we mean to say innovation? There is always a notion among every one of us. Innovation is always connected with technology because development, innovation, we correlate immediately the term only with technology. It doesn't. It is not. It should not be necessarily so because technology we use technology as a tool, but classroom is a classroom. It is there as a conventional way. But how can we and to what extent we can use technology in the classroom? Like you can say, like online classrooms, those days are gone for us now because for the past 2 years we are back on the track with the offline mode. So in that case, of course, we use technology because we share materials to the students through either WhatsApp or a Google Classroom or whatever the tools that we use. But we have limitations for using this technology of late, which we could compare by ourselves during pandemic and after pandemic classes. So in there, when we have come back to the classroom setup, naturally, life innovations are possible. We can always going for making them our there is we see to it the teaching learning process takes place in the classroom. That is for what we get into this term methodology. So we initiate all these only to encourage. We encourage them to join actively, and teachers also. We also, in a way, indirectly or consciously or unconsciously, we could create more methodologies. We get an opportunity to squeeze our mind and find out like what methodology could be used for this classroom setup. Because every classroom setup, as I said, is a combination of variety of students from different backgrounds, social background. So in that case, we cannot have a uniform pattern for all the class. It differs from classroom to classroom that highly focuses on students' background. So in that case, every classroom we can have a different methodology. And even I would say we can go to the students and ask them, yes, how do you want to do this topic? not merely myself being a active speaker and the other side, you students be a passive listener. You just come on, suggest me, how can we do this? So we can throw the question to them. Let them come out with what way they want to do it. And of course, we don't get a reply from the whole of the class, but at least 50% of the students in the class, they'll come up with their ideas. So whichever is feasible, we find feasible, we can use it, we can make use of it. It needn't be like only we are the owner of deriving new methodologies. Let them, because it is their classroom. This is what outcome-based education states now. Teachers are mere facilitators. No, we are not teaching anything here. We are only facilitating them to learn. Our job is to create a learning environment. So in that case, it is a dual process. Like we give freedom to the students. At the same time, we hold a certain amount of grip so that classroom doesn't goes out of control. So this is also taken care. So there should be certain concessions that from the conventional method. So in that case, they'll have to work more. So what is the prospects of this is they work more. When we go for the conventional method, we work more. But now through activity-based learning, students work more because they meet their needs. Outcome-based education, many colleges, autonomous institutions, universities, they have implemented outcome-based education in the curriculum. So in that case, what is the outcome of studying this syllabus is what we give in uh, course outcome and program outcome. So in that case, meeting their needs, this helps them to know what in what way they can make use of this topic or the topics they study. How can they make use of it for their future purpose? So when we going for the comparison with the traditional teaching, so which focuses mainly on passing on information, it's just a transmission of information, the knowledge from the teacher to the student. But now here, this is something that goes what you call a specialization. What you say, it is something similar to specialization. We go deep and make the students understand, realize what are the real takeaway, what is it that they are really going to achieve at the end of this learning this. So it may be through lectures or giving them certain suggestions. It can be any way, but what is the net result, what is the outcome, what are they going to achieve by doing this? So let us make them understand. So that is what our primary job here is, because we need to make them clear right at the first two classes, why do they study this topic. Every topic that is given in the syllabus, students should be aware what is the purpose of studying that topic, in what way that is going to help them after they receive the degree. That is what you call uh, uh, hands like practically how are the application oriented, what you call. So that unless we make this clear, activity based is always a remote one. So it is our job primarily to make them clear. uh, Now, benefits. So what are the benefits that we in the sense we are also part of the learning process. Teachers are also part of the learning process these days, because every day is a learning for us with different students, different methodologies. So in that case, what are the benefits? So few benefits that you could see on the screen. We encourage research here. So research, the term could be taken uh, uh, in two ways. One is with higher education, we can use the term research with students to conduct various, uh, depending on their skill base, they can initiate uh, researches. And with respect to the UG, undergraduate level, it is applicable even to the classroom activity based learning. So research could be used for both these purposes. There are few more which you come across, which we could see on the screen. We improve benefits is we improve problem solving and critical thinking skill. So these innovative methods, it helps to avoid we need to avoid receiving lot of knowledge at once, and adopt more soft skills, check students understanding, improve self evaluation, enliven classroom. So few important benefits which I have listed out here. So encouraging research is like these innovative approaches, these methods, it helps learning better. That is what the end point is. The thing that we achieve being faculty is what they learn. End of the day, what they are able to do. That is what. So encourage students to explore. We discover new things and tools to broaden their minds. So how to broaden? So how to make them? One example I could share with you here. These things, like I hope all the faculty who are here, you would accept my point. These days, like after pandemic, the reading skill of the students have totally come down. I hope you would accept with this idea. Before pandemic, it was a different scenario. The reading skill was not that very worse. But now we could find they struggle to read even the simplest terms and the words. So that need to be concentrated, not only with the collegiate level, even at the school level, uh, students struggle a lot with reading. So uh, a little bit of concentration, the time that we spend, the faculty would spend, it could naturally bring drastic changes, because once they are able to read, speak, and read. So as we all pretty new LSRW skills, which helps in communication. So they listen, they speak. So speaking and reading makes a very important role in their personal development, in their communication development. So in that case, we need to manage our time in the classroom so that certain time we could devote towards developing the reading skills, make them read again and again. uh, of course, it demands enormous patience. I do face this scenario. We have to have enormous patience, because the way they pronounce certain words, it is really shocking for us. They are not able to do it. These are all the consequences of pandemic learning. So, of course, uh, let us make our attempt to bring them back to the form to some extent at least. So, in what way innovation helps them for problem solving and critical thinking is like it allows them to learn at their own pace. We don't urge them to learn anything within any stipulated time. Like we give them we leave them a long rope and make them learn, uh, because the gap need to be filled. It will take its own time, because 2 years pandemic is, we should equalize it with 2 years like we what we had some before 20 30 years, what you call double promotion. We had a concept like double promotion. People who are extraordinarily talented, they were given double promotion. So in that way, that is what happened during pandemic. We should take it that way. So in that case, uh, extraordinary talented people were given, but here, irrespective of the talents, they were given double promotion. So in that case, that gap will be there. It has to be filled. So it will take another two. We are already come down to. We have already across the 2 years successfully offline. So it will take probably another 1 or maximum 2 years, maximum 1 to 2 years, we can be normal. So we have to keep trying and make the students learn, uh, give them a little bit of what do you call a concession, time concession, a little bit concession to make them learn. So certain brainstorming exercises or activities that could help them to how to address a problem, to learn how to address a problem, instead of finding like This could be like we can leave, for example, a story or something, an activity, a very common activity, irrespective of the subject, like we start one or two sentences and leave it, ask them to complete it. So let them go deep into imagination, or else we can think about certain issues. We have so many social issues now, but excluding politics and excluding the field of cinema, film industry, any other field we can take in the take it for consideration in the classroom activity. So we can give certain problems and ask them to find to give a solution for it. Come on, if you are there in the position, what sort of solution you'll give for this? So let them think about it. This can be a very general activity. It can be used in any classroom. Just for matter of the last 10 to 15 minutes in a classroom, we can try just once in a week, once in 15 days, random. So the next point is like avoid receiving a lot of knowledge at once. So we use new approaches and we still give information to students. But what the thing is, we need to split them into many parts, because all of a sudden we cannot trust knowledge uh, all of a sudden. So in that case, we need to break them. That coordination we have to bring in. How we are going to do so? It is up to individuals thinking, individual faculties, faculty thinking. So how they are going to digest the information that we give, and it should be easily accessible. They should be able to comprehend it, and all these things need to be bear in mind, and it will naturally help the students get the basic things faster. Now we could find the fundamentals are missing with the students being promoted, even from the students who have come from school level. uh, there are gaps. What I should say is they have a long gap. So all these gaps need to be tightened. The gap should be shortened. So in that case, we need to make them understand. Next is certain soft skills. Handling students these days, of course, it is a challenge for us. That is what I said, behavioral pattern. We find every classroom a very difficult task to handle certain students. So this enormous soft skill that we need to possess, and which in turn, students also should be trained to develop those soft skills through uh, the various classroom experiences. So the complex tools in classroom to finish their work. So classroom assignments. Here what I would like to correlate is, instead of asking the students write assignments at home and submit, we can devote a class once in 15 days, once in fortnight at least, to make it as a classroom assignment. Let them do it in the class and submit. And in a way, when it is done in the classroom, there is every chance of them coming out with their uh, 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 doubts. They could come out and clarify with us. So this helps in learning. This helps the learning process easier. So this is one of the methodology that I follow currently. So I could see certain percentage of difference. So next is it helps them to learn new things. So creativity. And next is individual group project. So all these individual project assignments, group project when we give, so they'll be able to manage their time, learn. They will learn naturally how to manage their time, prioritize their task, communicate, like how to work with others better, and many, many. Uh, the next is how to make the students understand, how to check their understanding capability. So exams are not the only mode, and grades are not the only mode to check their understanding capacity. Grades and exams are just for qualifying. Students' learning capacity, their knowledge is totally different from the grades they acquire in examination. So uh, these doesn't gauge a student's capability on the whole. So which we need to accept, we faculty. So these teaching innovative ideas, it helps us to monitor the class. So when we go for this activity-based learning, learning, we teachers, we get opportunity to monitor the students individually or grouped. Uh, we will be able to understand them better. So where they struggle and how they are able to achieve, how they are not able to achieve, what pushes them to achieve, what is the drawback that stops them not to achieve. So these two factors are easily understood by any teacher when there is activity-based learning in the classroom. The next point is improving self-evaluation. So students, learners, I should say, uh, with great methodology, we go with the classroom activities and they understand what they learn and what they are missing. So the gap they could understand by themselves. So it is our uh, uh, duty to make them understand the importance of self-evaluation. Why are these activities given? It is to go for self-evaluation. So we need to make them understand. So come on, you evaluate yourself and find where you stand. Whether you are really capable enough of doing it. If not, where do you lack? Come on, make a self-study of yourself. So these sort of statements we keep telling them again and again. So naturally, certain percentage of uh, what do you call the positive signs could be observed from the students, and what they knew, what they can understand, and what they really want to learn, their personal affliction. So that we could study when we make them do this self-evaluation. So enliven classrooms. So classrooms, there it should be always a live place. So neither it should be very noisy nor awkward silence. A minimal, a balance between silence and uh, shouting, a medium pace. So this makes the class lively always. And there's always innovative methods. This gives students something different to get excited. When we make something as an activity, we could have observed many a times. Of course, if we make it as a group activity with 4 or 5 members, maximum 3 or 4, if we go beyond that, there no work will happen with today's scenario. So in that case, if you go with 3 or 4 students, so we can easily identify. Uh, we go about rounds in the classroom, no? So we could easily identify uh, whether they are excited or whether they are interested or not, are they discouraged, uh, what is their attitude, response towards this. So many things that we could observe personally. So this I have experienced in my classroom. We just give activities and naturally we'll be going on rounds, so we interact with them and get their personal opinion, like whether they are really interested in doing this, or if not, what they want to do. So this sort of personal interaction, we get an opportunity. So encouraging them to speak up and interact. So they have to come out and speak. So of course, resistance is, it is there. I do accept. When we ask them to read, they won't read. We have to pinpoint them and make them read. This is what happens with every one of our classroom. But somehow we need to make them interns at least to speak up and interact. So we can have certain uh, uh, tools like uh, we give a certain we allot a certain component of the internal marks or anything like any such for reading, for interaction in the classroom. Just at least uh, 50% or 75% of the students in the class would respond. So though not 100% in all classrooms, to some extent. So a small changes one day will come to the totality. So let us have belief and confidence in that positive attitude. So why do we need this? So we have been so far we have looked into the benefits. Now why do we need this? So why is like academic outcomes is it is the academic outcomes and learning easier and effective. Ultimatum, what is our aim being teachers? We need to, whatever it is, the credit comes only. If the student perform, the learner performance is good, the credit is ours. But the learner's performance is not to the limit, up to the limit, the credit also comes to us. So we are holding responsibility for whatever happens with the learner. So in that case, in order to make the learning process easier and effective, so this is a prime factor why we should initiate for this innovative teaching methodologies. Innovation is necessary only because of these two prime factors. So we make them to learn equitable learning, what we call. So it is very essential. So experimenting different strategies, interaction, so assisting teachers in in promoting learning. So ultimatum, all these leads only to their growth. So that concept, that idea need to be understood by the students. We need to keep telling them again and again. Uh, of course, uh, it is difficult to make them understand. I do agree, but something that is said again and again, maybe 100 times we say, at least once they will listen to. So that is what we require ultimately. So that is a shift from online ones to hybrid, and now it is a combination we could see, because we have smart classrooms these days. Many institutions, almost people who have gone for this NAC accreditation, almost all the institutions they go for smart learning, smart classroom. So in that case, it has become a what do you call? We call it as a term as a hybrid learning. So we certain instances we use the smart class to make them understand. So it is easier for them uh, for certain topics. Uh, Picturization, visualization, it is more catchy, it is more appealing than the routine. So we cannot blame these days, we cannot blame the students for studying hard, because our responsibility is not to give that make the classroom dull. So in what way we can make the classroom interesting, because we don't get any sort of BP. I should say openly and frankly, since all of us are faculty here, uh, our blood pressure should not shoot up. So in that case, activity-based learning is a two-way process. It helps the students to learn, and also for the faculty not to shoot up with their blood pressure. So, how to create innovative learning environment for students, like more to focus towards practical learning rather than that is routine, very habitual learning, and change in the mindset. This change in the mindset should be there. Technology, uh, using of mobile phones in the classroom, we are not with it, because it is not there in the class. It is not a classroom is not a place to use mobile phone. So that when that is totally uh, uh, removed, I mean when that totally goes out, innovation in the classroom could be implemented. So self-evaluation, so open-ended questions could be given and ask them to work on it. So we create an environment or a place where all the learners fit in, and we develop in a way we develop these skills. So these are certain methods to integrate innovation in the daily classroom, daily curriculum. So interactive lessons, blended learning, design thinking, few of the different methods. So these are all I wish to mention here. These doesn't, I mean, the list that come across here on the screen doesn't mean these alone are the methods. These are few methods that experts have experimented in the classroom. Apart from it, that is what I said, there are n number of methods. We don't have any restrictions with methods. Every teacher have, depending on their creativity, we have n number of methods. We can create n number of methods. So these are all certain worked out methodologies in the classroom, which you come across: blended learning, design thinking, crossover teaching, personalized learning, QR codes, project based learning, inquiry based learning, so jigsaw, cloud computing. So we can even come across certain technical terms here. So, which is all these are common for all the disciplines. So depending on the discipline, maybe arts, science, or commerce, or management. So depending on the discipline, whichever is feasible, we can adopt this method. So the first goes always only with interactive. So interaction, interaction, interaction. So how to make it quizzes. So quizzes can be these days, multiple choice is what we call quizzes these days, because quizzes could be done in all the subjects, on the all the disciplines these days. It is possible. So we can even make the students come out with few questions, make them as a team of 2 to 3 students, three learners, come with 2 or 3 questions. And like this, we divide the class into different teams like this, and put together, we'll get a collection of questions for quizzes. So we can shuffle all those and conduct a quiz in the class. So this helps them to learn one of the methodologies. This is one of the methodology which helps them to learn. Blended learning. This is again like what I shared with you previously. Combination of smart class and the traditional class. So certain topics will depend on the technology that would make the classroom interesting. No wrong in it. So we can always take the students to the smart class for few topics. So that would make them to get interested with it. Next is design thinking. So this is a solution-based strategy. So where we go, students going for collaborative learning. So whenever collaborative learning happens, so creativity plays a major role there. So they get an opportunity to kindle their creative skills. So we let us give an opportunity for them. Let them come out. So when you come for this design thinking process, it involves 5 stages, which is, and one is different from the other. And see, you could come across here now on the screen those 5 stages, which is empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So we need to develop students, and we teachers also, we are also part of the learning process along with the students. So we develop empathy, we find out the needs, make them find out the needs for the solution, defining issues, so potential of addressing them. Next, we think, generate new ideas, creative ideas. So we make a draft, a sample of it, we explore, uh, test the solutions, we evaluate, gather feedback. So these are all like various thinking process, makes them to think. All these makes them to think a lot. So next is the project based. So here I could find many autonomous institutions these days. The syllabus is it is a little bit challenging, where during their final year, the final semester, at the undergraduate level, uh, they have uh, they're going for a mini project at the UG level. So which is a good sign. Yes, uh, depending on the discipline, they can go in for a mini project. So normally projects will be only from the postgraduate level, at the only at the postgraduate level. Now autonomous institutions have got the liberty to freedom to frame their own syllabus. Many institutions I come across with the syllabus where they have a project paper in the final semester, which is a welcoming sign. So project-based learning is always good. It is also innovation. We inculcate uh, innovation uh, right at the undergraduate level, which is fine. So film and documentary, social issue. So these could be these activities could be uh, a general activity, what we call co-curricular, because every department we have a what we call, we have clubs in the departments. Every institution, every department has a club. So we can have this as a club activity. So make the students who are uh, sound enough in doing it, or who are interested, who have a passion towards doing these, they can have a documentary on the social issue. They can work on their passion. We give an opportunity through club activities, co-curricular. And we illustrate artfully, they illustrate, analyze the cause and effect. So these are all certain examples which you come across on the screen. So these are all a way of making them being innovative. So inquiry-based learning is a kind of active. It is active, a kind of active learning. Like instead of giving a lecture, we start a new topic. So we can throw certain questions related to the topic. So let them answer. Uh, uh, Let us see to it how good they are in analyzing and giving us the answer. So in that way, our teaching of that particular topic, the task of teaching that particular topic becomes easier. And also they also involve themselves. Active learning takes place there, instead of being a passive listener. So that is what we highly require. Passive listeners, we don't find any interest in teaching. Our interest level pulls down. So this methodology, it helps us to make the class active. And we are more likely to be a facilitator. So that is what I was insisting on. This is what OBE also, outcome-based education, also insists. Teachers are UGC, that is what they say. We are mere facilitators. We are no more lecturers. We are mere facilitators. So in that case, we give them opportunity. So jigsaw is an activity. What you call it is a very simple game-like activity. Like we give a particular, these all could be done as a club activity. Yes. So a simple example which you come across on the screen, a simple concept with a one word concept could be given, and ask them to prepare on it, to find if it is a literature club. We can ask them to put as many adjectives as possible, use difference between, describe how nice and bad weather. So certain points, hints which you could find on the screen. Even history jigsaw activities could be given, like it is applicable to any subject. So for example, computer science, we take into account history jigsaws. They can bring about the history of, like, how computers, right from the beginning, from where 1980s or so, I think the field of technology, it's gradually developed. So the background of study of all those could be given, not as a storytelling or as a essay competition. They have to take that concept and speak crisp. It is a crisp speech they should give. So that could be done. So cloud computing technology, like where connecting teachers and students. So allow them to access classes, materials. So this is more of technical. That is what I said. Since we all people we are all from different disciplines. So depending on our discipline, whichever methodology is applicable, feasible for us, we can adopt. And next is flipped classroom. So what is they can watch videos, they can read materials. So based on their understanding, they can comprehend. They can comprehend whatever they have understood. And we devote to this what you call homework. Homework, the term we use, but let it be as a classwork. So let them either put in writing in the form of hints, not as an essay or bulletin points, or maybe they can have as a hint and just read it aloud. Look into the notebook and read. Let them not by heart. I would make a request here to the teaching faculty here. Uh, Please allow the students to look into the notebook and read. Let them not by heart and uh, blabber whatever they want to, whatever they have in their mind, the ideas they have in their mind. Let them put in writing in the form of hints in a piece of paper or in the rough notebook, and let them look into it and speak elaborately. So let us give them an opportunity to get trained like this, because these are all what they are going to do when they stick for the job interviews. Yes, so group discussions, debates. So when they have to face such scenarios, so they have to get trained right from the classrooms itself. So it can be subject connected. Let them make it as a activity. So that in that way we can train them. Next is peer teaching. So it is something similar to the jigsaw technique which we saw previously. So they understand and they share it with their group, and they can take the lead in the activity. Their interest could be, they can look into choose their interest. They get certain amount of autonomy to do the subject, the topic that they have taken into consideration. So what are the benefits of this is, naturally it boosts their confidence. That is what is it. That is what today's children terribly lack, because they are being pampered by parents, which we could see. So they totally lack confidence everywhere in the society. Also, like the more of media's influence, so they lack confidence. So these things, classroom activities, it boosts their confidence level. It encourages them to go for self study, what you call independent study. So this is in a way we help them. And the next is feedback. So every innovative method, the teaching method that we do, uh, it is good that we go for a feedback. Feedback is not the questionnaire that we prepare and give them. Uh, Let them, without any questionnaire or anything, let the students come out by themselves what they have learned in the class because of this sort of activity. No more, the days are gone where we give a sheet of paper with multiple choice questions, ask them to choose whichever is better. No, let them come out with their own feedbacks about the positives, it may be positive or the negative. Let them come out by themselves. So constructive feedback, so open mind, so essential skills, so all these. So all these, it is again a collaborative one. So this is a short simple questions in the sense we can give them the basic questions that need to be highlighted, not the entire one, just simple 3 to 5 questions uh, about the activity or the topic, the way, the methodology we did. So how they felt, because they were also part of the methodology. We are not secluded here. So it will in a way help them. Next is crossover. Crossover, like combination of the experience of learning in classroom and also outside. So it is more effective, like group work, discussions, and it can be even these days, since it is a mandatory for the NAC peer team. The criteria, one of the criterias we have, like where field trip, field visit becomes very important, industrial visit or a field visit. So in that case, every field visit, uh, they can going for they can be assigned a group work, and ask them to give a report on it, or individually, maybe a group work or individually, or a discussion, open discussion, anyway, whichever we find it relevant to the class. Personalized learning. So this type of strategy, like uh, extrovert, introvert, we have come across. So these extrovert, like they are personalized learning, like this helps to a greater extent for the extrovert students. But the introvert students, it is very difficult. It's a very difficult task. Uh, so learning, in order to make the learning, the journey of learning to be interesting, these works for some students, but not for the certain set of students. So that is what uh, I insist from the beginning. It depends on the classroom and the students we handle. So whether this is applicable for our classroom. Next is these days technologies, we use more of QR codes. So we make them to develop certain QR codes. This is technical oriented, where we say let them use a certain digital device, develop the materials they have or their own ideas. They can have their own QR codes and do it. So this is in a way helps them to it is a kind of self motivation for them. So, how can this help? Innovation can help you become better at teaching. So, we teachers, how can we be benefited? Like, uh, we have a variety of methods. We employ variety of methods. So, we accept that there is a need to grow, develop, and what we ask our students, because today's students we find questioning rather than acceptance, counter questioning is more from them. Yes, so they are very they have developed, this pandemic has developed them to pose more questions to the faculty rather than acceptance. So this could be avoided when we going for these methodologies. And the mindset of the students, uh, there is always room for improvement. So we also improve according to the demand of the society, demand of the students. So we invest our time in researching, we think about activities. Before that, our teachers, you could remember what our teachers used to say when we were at our school level. They used, our teachers and professors, we used to spend so many hours in preparing for the class. So now it has taken a different turn, where we spend more hours in designing activities. Activity based learning is designing activities, we spend more time. So this is also in a way a research. So we find this paves way to for better strategies to teach our students. So we develop a certain amount of culture for innovation and creativity. That innovation, creativity has a role to play in the classroom. It is not something away from the classroom. It is a part of the classroom teaching. So these all we could understand. So as a student, uh, they from the student centric, do we really gain more from class by sitting passively? So these are the questions that need to be posed to students. So are we more likely to learn by active participating or collaborative? So these sort of questions we need to throw on them and ask them to respond to it, think about it. So these all helps us to uh, uh, or what do you call uh, to make ourselves, to present ourselves to be a better teachers. Uh, the future, what is the future of this innovative teaching? We keep on telling innovation teaching in what way? So this is actually this innovation, innovative teaching. So this helps to a greater level, because the growing pace, the growing technology, globalized environment, where days are gone that we are restricted to live in a particular area. We have to move. Relocation is always there. So as long as we are innovative, we are growing, we are developing. So in that case, students these days, they are put in a situation to work in various environments, working environment. So innovation is the need of the art. So this we have to make the students understand clearly. Unless or otherwise they understand the importance of this, all those whatever we came across is removed. So right from the beginning, it is our duty to insist them that they have to be like this. Only then they can survive in the globalized environment. All these are connected only to their development. So, sir, all those we need to give certain what you call counseling. So that is necessary these days. That becomes necessary for every faculty, not only the class in charges, but all the faculty who handles the class. They are duly responsible. It becomes our responsibility to make them understand the importance of doing this. So time is spent exciting, and also learning also takes place. And why? How does this helps in better classroom management? So actually, this type of technology, using technology, it engages students at the same time. Creates active based learning. So we have many activity based learning tips online, so that we can pick out, or else the students themselves, if they have come out with a new idea, they can in turn uh, uh, use it in the use by with the use of technology. They can make they can post it in the website, or in a blog or anywhere, so that others also could learn. So it is a mutual transmission of ideas. So content of the classroom, we make it interesting, and learning make we make learning we makes it makes learning fun. So teacher teaching techniques in higher education. Coming to this higher education, as I said, it becomes very challenging for us. So the best teaching approach is the mixed method. So student centered, teacher centered. Certain topics, student centered is important. Certain topics, teacher centered. So in that case, it is a mixed method with respect to higher education. So planning, readiness to do activities, to prepare activities is what that totally demands from the teachers of today. So our need, as Plato's words, in his words, our need will be the real creator, or as we say today, necessity. So we have a very a common term, I mean common quote: necessity is the mother of invention. So that is what, in a different way we use it. Our need will be the real creator, in other words. So this is how the challenge is posed before every teacher these days. So thank you, friends, for your patient listening. I hope I have done my job. Yes, ma'am.